And I use EMDR as well. EMDR, eye movement reprocessing desensitization. It's a method, it's a technique in psychotherapy. We work with traumas. Very often we work with
Trauma victims.
traumas. Yes.
Right.
And it works beautifully with them.
How does that work? Really
It's a neurophysiological system. Because what we do some kind of tapping, or we move their eyes in kind, from right to the left, from left to the right. We move their eyes, our clients' eyes, and while doing that, we aim to reinforce the connection between the left and right hemisphere of the brain.
Right.
So their traumas and their perception about their traumas becomes more positive and more as if something, might have happened in our life and it passed away.
And has no
this
more
kind
control
of
now.
no more control over you. This kind of feeling it gives you, and it takes sometimes in a very short time. Sometimes it takes 3, 4, maybe 5 sessions.
But it has this quick of an effect.
Yes, exactly.
That is very quick.
It is very quick, and it works beautifully with trauma victims.
For example, let's say a person was in a plane crash. I mean, am I
Yes.
exaggerating this? Is this a too big of a trauma?
No. They work with EMDR during the earthquake in 1999 in Turkey, and a lot of EMDR practitioners, they were very successful. You can work all kinds of trauma victims, and little t traumas as well, everyday traumas.
Right,
we have this kind of traumas.
But to think that after only 5 sessions that you're no longer going to be
sometimes
crazy
in one
scared.
session.
Yeah, sometimes in one session.
Sometimes in one session.
That sounds like a miracle, I must
Yes,
tell you.
it's a miraculous system, EMDR. Sometimes it will take a long time, of course. It depends on the person, on the person's personality,
Right.
on their story, and all kinds of things.
Right. Yeah. In therapy, generally, do you find that people are resistant in the beginning?
Yes. That is the most important thing. While doing therapy, the most difficult part of it is the resistance of the people. Not conscious resistance, subconscious resistance. That is the most difficult part. They wouldn't remember sometimes. They wouldn't make the connections between what's going on today and what was going on in the olden days. They couldn't do that. They might forget. They might be late to the appointments.
Right.
Yes, this kind of thing.
Self-sabotaging kind of thing.
Self-sabotaging, exactly. This kind of resistance, we work
all the time.
All the time.
How
It's
do
the
you
hard
deal
part
with
of
that?
it. Psychodrama deals wonderfully with that, because when we say choose one object,
Very
the resistance
self-explanatory.
goes. And action, well, we are in action because we move in psychodrama. We change places, we move, we take the body postures, all kinds of action methods, triggers, you see, triggers subconscious mind.
Right.
So the resistance goes away more easily.
How do you know when a person is ready? Okay, you're done, you're healed.
I'm not the only one who decides that. We decide together. You see, we are okay. Everything is fine, and mostly my client doesn't want to go on. It's finished. He feels he can be strong enough mentally and emotionally. He has the self-confidence. And he can lead his life, he can control his feelings. So that means he's ready and he can take the responsibility of their lives, of his life.
Yeah.
That is the most important part, because freedom means taking responsibilities. So when the person is ready to take his own life's responsibility, so he's ready to go.
How do you personally distance yourself from the therapies, though? How many people a day do you see?
In a day, I see 5 or 6 people.
5 or 6 people?
Yes, and I work 1.5 hours with one of them, with each of them. It is easy.
Is it?
Yes. How do I distance myself? When I close this door, everything stays in this room, and I go to my life. When I come back, I take the role of the therapist. As a psychodramatist, it's easy to taking the roles and leaving the roles.
Like being on stage and being off stage, kind of?
Exactly. And that's what we do. So it's not so difficult.
You're basically like a friend, a very, very non-selfish friend that you can go and talk about all your problems and everything without having to worry about asking, how are you?
Exactly.
Right.
That's the role we take. I prefer to take the role of the double to that person.
What does that mean?
Double means as if I am you, you see. So when they feel that they can move on in their process with me and me by their side, they feel more secure, they feel more ready to work. So we play, we warm up, we work together as if I am them. You see, that's the role I take. Sometimes the role of the good mother, ideal mother. That's what I take.
You're changing characters all the time.
Yes.
Of course.
Of
According
course.
to the person's
According
needs.
to the person's need, exactly.
Right.
Nowadays, people are very, open to this kind of work. In the olden times, they were saying that only, pathological people should go to psychologists or psychiatrists. But nowadays, everyone needs personal growth, needs self-awareness, need to sort out something in their lives, their problems. So they are ready to go to psychologists.
Right.
They work with them.
Right. It used to be that when we were little, who goes to the psychologist? Only the crazy people go to.
Yes, it was like that.
That used to
Unfortunately, it was like that.
Yeah,
but in the
nowadays-
90s, it changed bit by bit. In 2000, since 2000, in these last 10 years, it grows faster and faster.
And there is more of a search for self-awareness, as you say, in people also.
Exactly.
Now, you're doing a lot of things here. Are there any new projects?
Yes, we are having new projects because we have ongoing groups, psychodrama groups, and we have, I do from time to time past life regression therapy.
Oh, this is something we should have talked about.
Yes, I know.
Give us a little bit, go on, give us a little bit of that.
A little bit of that. We call it past life, but we don't know if it's past life or not. But these are the messages, these are the stories that come from our subconscious mind.
Right.
So how we reach them? We reach them in the state of, deep relaxation. We call it clinical hypnosis. I'm not a hypnotherapist. This is deep relaxation techniques. And we reach those stories from the subconscious mind of the client and we work on them. This is past life regression therapy. And I combine from time to time with psychodrama. So we reach to the story in the subconscious mind of the client and we act on it. We play those stories in the scene, you see. And it is a very richful work. And I combine with that. So I am combining EMDR with regression therapy, past life regression therapy, and I'm going to do a workshop with a colleague of mine during the World Regression Therapies Conference in Kuşadası in 2011 in October. And I'm working with individuals, as I say. I'm working on a new book of self-awareness.
Right. You have the last book came out, I saw.
Yes, it was a translation about one-to-one psychodrama and socio-psychodrama. And we wrote with another 15 colleagues of mine, contemporary approaches in psychodrama.
Mm-hmm.
And the 6th part of this book is mine. I wrote the 6th part of this book. And I'm writing a book of my own about, as I said, self-awareness and self-growth.
Excellent.
Yes, these are new projects.
Right.
And we are going to work with yoga and meditation this year. A colleague of mine, she's a psychologist and she's an EMDR practitioner, and she's a yogi. So she's going to work with groups, yoga groups and meditation groups in Nar Yaşam this year.
Excellent. Now we're closing up, but tell us, what is it that you love best about your job?
Everything. every bit of it. I'm very excited about it. I like reading, I like writing. I'm warming up to writing more and more nowadays. And I like working actually with my clients. And I like helping people.
Excellent. Bölüm, thank you so much for
Thank you
talking
so
with
very
us.
much.
It was very enlightening, and I feel like we just scratched the surface. We could have learned more perhaps another time.
Thank you very much for having me.
That was Bölüm Armağan. I'm Beril El Hadef. See you next time on Women of Turkey.